Traders, and welcome to Trade the Structure. Just live recording some trades for the day. It is the 9th of March 2022. So you'll see on the screen there, I've got the Japan 225, so it's Nikkei. I'm just going to walk through the trade. I've only, for now, just done one trade, so I'm just recording and voiceover as I go. But you can see I was actually looking to buy that with a bit of a break above, but it turned around and head south. So I cancelled that all just then, I think. And then what I'll do is just sort of sit back and watch the price action start to play out and see if I can get a bit of a read, basically get a read on the market, see what it wants to do. The actual index itself was it gapped up slightly, but it's in a downtrend, so it could be a pullback to the EMAs on the underlying index. You can see this actual chart here. It's only on the 1 minute, but it looks like it's heading higher. So it could be. I mean, there's a lot of short sellers to be squeezed out of this action, especially on Nikkei. Nikkei's got pounded a bit, so it could be a bit of bargain hunting. Could drive it higher, grind it higher. The actual ASX 200 is a bit of a grind higher, so we'll see if we can follow suit to the ASX. Anyway, I was looking at the ASX and I didn't actually, no trades on that for now. It's just, I thought it would have rolled over. I was looking for a buy and then I thought, no, this is not looking so great. And then it just took off. So it's been sort of one steady climb on the ASX. Okay, so here you can see I'm just marking up a few, the chart there. I was looking for the 3 candle setup, but you can see because of that lower high that failed, which I've got circled there, I was a bit concerned that the market could just sort of spike up and have a bit of a flush straight back down through the lows. So I really wanted to see a bit of a pullback and a higher low build. But as it plays out, the 3 candle setup didn't look, it did kick off, but it basically ramped straight up to the highs and straight back down again. So there was no trade there, but you can just see how I'm marking up. I'm getting prepared. I just want to see certain things, and it's just trying to add up the price action as you go. Put it together, piece it together, and try to build yourself a picture of what could happen, and see some prime setups play out. Okay, you can see from the previous trade, it did pop up and went straight back down again. So it was actually good not getting into that trade. It would have been hard to manage. I mean, whether you managed to get some off at the highs, who knows? But a 3 candle setup, in hindsight, it did work, but it's not really a prime one for me. Now I'm looking at the exact same thing. Okay, it failed to push through the lows, and I can actually see on that previous run up, it did flush through the highs. So I'm getting the feeling that there's a bit of bias to the upside. So really, I'm looking to trade the same setup. I've got my yellow horizontal line for, okay, if it does get through, clear through there, and it starts, at least holds up here, I want to get involved, and it's my, it's a setup that I like to take. I've got a little minor higher low, and even if it's a range sort of trade, you would expect it to go back to the top end of the range, at least flush back up to the highs from here by holding those lows. So I just jumped in there, bought some there. So we'll see if this actually kicks on. I think I might add to it if it starts to confirm a bit better. And then I'll piece it out as it goes back up again. So we'll stick around and just see how I attack it. Okay, so it's about here. I add to the position, I think. Yep, there you go. So I just bought some more. What I did like, you can see that the candle I actually got in was pretty much a failure candle. It rallied up and rejected, so it's a bit of a pin bar there, whatever you want to call it. The very next candle took out the low and then rallied. So I don't mind that if I'm expecting a bit of a break higher. So those little things, candle nuances. When it flushes through the low, that's just grabbed some liquidity down there. People just sold down there, and it's come straight back up again. So happy to add there, and still, basis heading to the top end of the range, and see if it can kick on. So I think we're starting to get a bit of acceleration higher there in just a moment, and then I'll start. I'll basically just playing around with some exits. So I put in a target there for 5 out of 20. Then I think that misses by literally about 2 points. And so I was just giving the area, so I took it off. I took some off on a bit of a pullback, and then I took some more off into that level, cancelled that, and took some more off higher. And I think finally closed it out before it started to roll over again. So yeah, all in all, it's actually not a bad exit at all. So here you go. It's a bit of a pop here. I thought I might push straight up to that exit 942. For 5, but yeah, it just starts buoying just above 24,900. It doesn't do too much there, so I think it actually pulls back here. About here when it has a bit of a fall back to about 95, 90. Just get some off quick, just to to ease the risk, to lock in something at the very least. But it ended up being not much at all, really. All right, you'll see it starts playing around here, and I just start playing around the orders there. It does kick on. It does kick on, and like I said, it misses the profit target at 24,942 by just a few pips. So I think I just sold some there, got out of a partial about 95, I think it was. I'll get the executions for you. So the two entries were 24,878 and 24,883. And the first exit was at 24,893. So that was at just that exit there. I was tossing up whether to close off some more. I thought I'd just let it go a bit. And then the next exit was at 930. Then it was at 943. And then it was at 940 as it was rallying up through those highs. So like I said, I think it was about here. It just kicks on and it just pops up to that 942. I think it trades around the 940 high. So, like I said, missing out by a few pips, but that's the nature of the beast there. Okay, closed out the three, and this is the last. There you go, 24,940 just sold out of the last five. So you'll see that the market does actually, I think it pushes a little bit higher. Like I said, it just goes about 50 or so or 60 and then just starts to roll. So really, that's it. There you go. You can see it's actually just got a bit higher. It's starting to roll over again. And it's just really, I think I was just waiting for the Hang Seng to open. I'm sort of drawing up what I want to see. If if we can get a higher low like that and it starts to lift again and I get a good little setup with the candles, then I'll jump in. But then you start to watch it. It really starts to get heavy. It was really just waiting. Like I said, waiting for the Hang Seng to open like it did the last video we did. It was really just waiting. So we'll wait and see how the Hang Seng goes and see if we can get a trade on that one. All right, you see here, I'm just placing the order and the levels in for the 5-minute trading day, the entry strategy. It's on the Hang Seng. Just getting ready to place the order. Just placed it there. Now it's a sell, obviously, sell on entry. I think it was at 28.52, and you can see the market traded straight through it. Just the instant I pressed send, it pretty much kicked off within a second or two just after that. So I was chasing my tail for a second, just trying to figure out if it was done. But you'll see it did trade through nicely. It did bounce, like you see, this is all within the 1 minute candle here. It did bounce for a few seconds and then pretty much headed down. It had the target at 28.22 and pretty much headed down and traded through just that level probably in a few seconds or so. You'll see that exit. Now, I took an inside level at 852 as a slightly inside level, just a front run, just to give myself a bit more room to move, but the outside level worked fine anyway. So no problems with that. The market kicked off nicely. We got our 30 points and it was all done. So ready to move on to the next trade. Okay, just a bit of a recap here. Ended up being, it was only 2 trades for the day. So it was the 2 early ones that you saw. Didn't trade anything else. Like there was a couple of other opportunities, nothing that took my fancy too much. I was getting a bit slack today, so I figured that was it. We'll just wrap it up there. I'll finish up the video. But just have a bit of a rundown before we go of areas where I could have jumped in and could have been happy with a trade there. Now the first one was just on the Nikkei. You see here. This is about the time when I was doing that trade on the 5-minute trading day. It was 12:25, so it was just coming to the open. Now that would have been a nice little area. The trade-off, you can see you had all this congestion through here, and we were talking about this earlier. It was bouncing around here. We had that trade in there where it popped up and did okay, but then it sort of went sideways. I was expecting something to happen. I was expecting that I was just going to sit around waiting for the HSI, which is the Hang Seng, but you just saw that it basically kicked off when I was busy on the other market. But I was happy with the Hang Seng trade. That would have been a good area. Now, if you just drop it down into the 1-minute chart, we'll just take a look. That area was looking at. Now you can see price moved down, bouncing off their maze, a little higher low in there. So really you just, you're boxing up your risk basically like that. You can see take the break, entry of the break on the top side, buy in there, it pops up, and then you get this market sort of slowly grinding high until it eventually fades. On the short side, you could have had a nice little trade like that sort of setup where you've got retest fail, or you can call it a double top, call it a retest fail, especially if it's sort of broken. That's the trend up. That's your little anchor of the trend up. Breaks that, retest, and starts to fail. So you've got sort of all these little lower highs to start working into. Now, I could have, like I said, could have jumped in just getting a bit slack with that one. Now, Hang Seng, this is what sort of caught me off guard. I expected it, have a bit of a pullback. I was looking for that 5-minute lower high because I feel if it's going against the trend, I feel like, okay, the trend is down. It has been biased down. We had been working off this support zone, resistance up here that sort of jammed into a couple of times. I thought it might have gone a bit higher. So really, once you started getting this early weakness that was off the open, smashed down, ramped straight back up. That lower high, I was really expecting off that lower high something like maybe this on the 5-minute chart. Okay, where I could work onto the 1 minute chart just in this kind of an area. But you can see it just basically went straight down, hit the support, little green candle, and bang, straight down again. So it's really got hammered, and that moved down to where it is now, 600 points. So good old Hang Seng's not too happy today with the way the markets are. It's really taken a bit of a beating. So we go into the 1 minute chart, and we'll see. So that's the area. I mean, trading it off the 1 minute would have been a bit harder for me anyway, the way I look at things. You can see this little pop up here. Yeah, you've got the lower high with in comparison to the initial high just in here. That was off 12.15, so that was right on the open. I find it hard to take those as a high, but you've got a nice little lower high, good flush through. So really, I should have been looking once we got this bit of a breakdown through this zone, which you'll see, which is 28.77 through here. Once we start to break down there, I should have been working off that zone. I should have been working into, just draw it up here, this area into there, or a bit later on. But like I said, that 5 minute chart I thought was getting a bit extended. I thought it's going to drag in some shorts, sucker them back out again, squeeze them back out, and then turn around and roll over and have a bigger move down. But instead, it was just all pretty much one-way action. So by the time I sort of got down to here, I thought if it's going to keep grinding down, I'm just going to call it a day. Had a good little morning, 2 trades, 2 wins. That was it, all done and dusted. So that's all I want to go over, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And like I said, if you like what you hear, just leave us a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss anything. Like I said, I'll be trying to do more live trading and just sort of as an educational purpose of what I look for. And it's a lot better looking at things live and talking it through than going just like I did then, saying, oh, I would have done this, I would have done that. You don't know what you're going to do. I mean, like I said, I really, in hindsight, I should have been jumping into that little short. You don't know where it's going to go. But the 5 minute had me swayed, thinking I don't really like the 5 minute. It was not showing a massive amount of strength to the downside for the sellers. So I sort of kept out, and it ended up being the wrong thing. So I only had the opening trade on the Hang Seng, that was it. So it's a lot better talking through things live and discussing what I'm looking at. So you can discuss the different points. How do I want to get long? How do I want to get short? What do I want to see if I want to get short? What do I want to see if I want to get long? It means it's you piecing together the puzzle and the evidence, using the evidence that you're seeing to piece together that puzzle to form a trade idea. But when you see it all, like now you see it in hindsight, you're not really piecing anything together. You're just seeing, oh, I would have traded there. It's a lower high. It's a clean setup. Done. So I think I'll do a lot more of those. Try to record some of the trades I'm doing. Obviously, there's a lot of in-between time, a little downtime, so we're chopping it up. It'll be probably disjointed until I get a bit better at it. But anyway, we'll see how we go with that. And then, like I said, if you like what you hear, it'd be great. You leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and help us spread the word. Cheers, guys, and we'll speak to you soon.